Hello. Hi everyone, good morning, and thanks for joining on Sunday morning. I know we usually do it on Saturday morning, but this time, because of the network meeting yesterday, we have to push it to this Sunday. And now this session is very special session, especially in connection to our Agile conference, which is going to happen on December 9th. All our Agile Series 1 and Agile Series 2, we have picked up topic and the speakers, the agile coaches, they told their experience and all. So we have taken quite a few questions, like one or two questions. So we thought like with this idea, like the agile clinic idea, where this time we'll spend more time on questions rather than just talking from one end. Okay, so that is the intention here, and we have two more sessions, which again next week on Saturday and another week same on another Saturday, same time at 10:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Okay, so this are usual, like all our meetings, they are recorded, and you can find it in PMI Pearl City Hyderabad chapter YouTube handle. You can look at the playlist. You have Agile Series 1 to capture there, and this will also get it uploaded. The only thing, they will not get the PDU credited, but the knowledge wise, the content wise, they can access it. Okay. And yeah, today we have Kalyan Kumar Ghattu, who is an enterprise agile coach and agile PMO at InnoMinds, and he'll be talking about the challenges faced by the Scrum Masters, agile practitioners, day in day out. And I'll spend a few minutes there, like 10 to 15 minutes, and then I have got few questions from the people. I have questions gathered. I'll be asking those questions. Maybe we'll spend another 15-20 minutes there. And then at the end, we have an opportunity of, to ask from this group as well. If you have any questions, we will take up at the end. Okay. With that, over to you, Kalyan.
Great. Thanks, Vinay. Good morning, everyone. I think today is a power packed. So thanks for joining the Sunday. Thanks for sparing your personal time and joining this webinar. So I mean to say power packed. I think people are excited to watch, stick to the TVs today. So today is a finals in India versus Australia. So, and in that busy schedule, in this power packed day, so and giving some time and joining this kind of a session, appreciate everyone's time. So you are taking charge of your life. I can understand. That's where you are. You are here today in this session. I appreciate all your aspirations towards to your career goals. So with that, I think we can jump into the agenda. Yeah, thank you. So I just take a small quote here, which is from our ancient books. So I strongly believe, firm believer on those statements. So it's a Sanskrit phrase, manas eva manushanam. So if you convert that into the English phrase, as the mind, as the person. So basically, a mind plays a major role in any kind of decisions. Why I've taken this quote? Because the mindset, basically, agile is a completely mindset. So when you get into the any kind of a transformation, when you get into the any kind of a engagements, agile program managements, basically the mindset. Because from decade, we have started carrying all these different kind of a project management techniques, especially waterfall model, iterative model, hybrid models. So when you start introducing these agile concepts, so basically there will be resistance. So still resistance is there. So there is a 2 decades back we started agile, but still we see a resistance in the market, in the leadership role, in the executive teams. So there are different kind of expectations. So if we set that mindset and what you are going to exactly reap benefits if you perfectly implement the agile practices. So that's where I took that name. So this is from Patanjali. So it's not Patanjali Ramdev Baba. So Patanjali is our yoga guru. So which is 5,000 years back, that Patanjali I'm talking about. So Manaseva Manushana, please remember this phrase. So in your life also. So if your mindset is perfect, and if you see the plant, perfect plant of your career goals or your ambitions, so that will seed will grow, become a plant become grow a tree. So that's how we have to align our agile transformation as well. So with that, so today's agenda would be about me. I'll just brief about myself and what is the industry expectations from the agile coaches, scrum masters, and agile practitioners. So I'm going to cover that one. Then after that, current challenges. What are the current challenges we are facing during the transformation engagements, especially? So this is very much important. And finally, so during the registration itself, Vinay got few questions, and we can discuss those questions. And then it's open to forum, so we can take few questions and we can address those answers, our questions as well. So with that, I'll moving to the next one, about me. Vinay, next slide. Yeah. So this about me. I am Kalyan Gattu. So you can just search in LinkedIn. You can just send an invite. I'll accept it. So Kalyan Gattu. So I'm working as an enterprise transformation, agile transformation coach for InnoMinds. I'm heading the agile practice over here. So I carry a 20 years of experience in the industry. A first decade, I completely worked on the testing in the project management, and the second decade, so I completely focused on the agile related transformations, agile consulting and transformations. So I involved in multiple agile transformation engagements, including the regular vanilla agile scrum transformations and the large scale transformation, especially safe. I am pure safe guy. I have a limited knowledge about less dad and all those things, but I am a pure safe transformation guy. So where I involved multiple engage. Currently, we are also doing three large transformation engagements. One is a utility side, the power and utilities. The other one, banking domain. The one is the mobility. So these are the three transformation engagements we currently leading. So, and also I played a major role in business advisory and consulting. So basically this advisory consulting where we go to the customer places, understand their pain problems, providing solutions, recommendations, and the implementing plan. So this is the role which I played in most of my engagements. So I also part of industry webinars and the meetings. So as I part of PMI, so I also part of some private groups and conversations. And I majorly focus on business agility and organization agility. Somehow I missed yesterday when so if I would out there, I would have learned more on the business agility and the organization agility. Why I'm emphasizing more on business agility and organization agility, we'll cover it in the later slides, because this is very much important in current industry where scrum masters, agile practitioners, and the agile coaches have to focus on business agility and organization agility rather than just confined to the only the scrum framework. This is the industry expectation. We'll cover it later slides. So this is about me. Moving to the next slide. Okay, so just I have captured from different research reports, and based on my experience, industry experience, and the contacting with the networks. So they just I created 8 major challenges here. So challenges means expectations from the different enterprises and the different organizations. So that's where industry is expecting from the scrum master, agile coaches, or agile practitioners how to play in their role, not limiting their role to the only following the facilitating the scrum teams, scrum ceremonies, scrum events. You have to play your role beyond the framework, so on the conceptual knowledge. So that's where the industry is expecting. So let's dig deep into the each and every expectations from the industry. As I said, so in the current industry, so agile leader skills are getting more traction so than the earlier. There is a huge market is growing, digital transformation is happening, and there is a huge demand for the agile practitioners and the scrum masters. So however, the challenge which we are noticing is there are people, they are only getting the certifications, today's certification, then they are claiming themselves as a agile coaches or agile practitioners or the scrum masters. So that is not going to work it out. So most of the organizations are restructuring their organizational skills, and they are looking for the specialist. So instead of looking for individual who can bring agile implementation and related skills to everyone, especially on the implementation skills, especially the agile implementation skills and the transformation skills. So being agile, doing agile, you might have heard these things. So most of the practitioners just they follow the conceptual knowledge, scrum first, and that's a doing agile. But how to be agile, being agile? So that you'll get only with the experience. So if I got 5 years experience or 10 years experience, that doesn't mean that you are an expert. Maybe you only followed the guidelines of the Scrum guide or some of the hybrid framework, but you have to be being in agile. You should have a understanding the what is the organization expectation, what is your customer expectation. You have to be more into those aspects than the following only the Scrum framework. So let's look and take each and every expectation from the market, especially practical knowledge and experience. As I covered, so by attending today's certification, so people will claim that they have a expert in the agile. So that is not going to help out. So the industry is expecting team management, transformations, agile program management. So there's multiple factors involved into these transformation activities. That's where the industry is expecting. If you start a role without having this practical experience as a scrum master, as an agile practitioner, you may fail, literally fail. That may create chaos in your transformation engagements. So you have to focus on your niche skills, and you have to tweak your transformation engagements, what exactly fit for this particular transformation. Those things you have to look into it. So moving to the cross skilled, the new world. So the new world means the new industry is expecting this cross skill type of expectations from the scrum masters and the agile practitioners. So most of the scrum masters or the agile practitioners or the agile coaches at this, they are only facilitating the scrum teams. That is not the expectation from the scrum masters. You need to have a pie-shaped skills. You might have heard this pie-shaped skills in most of the articles and everything. So along with your primary skills, you need to add up one or two additional primary skills. You have to build the pie skills like technical expertise, having a good understanding of CI/CD practices, DevOps, cloud, how you can set the pipelines. Those aspects will make you unique in the industry. So that's where industry is expecting. Instead of having the agile principles in the concepts, you have to have add up other primary skills in the technical aspects. That is one of the expectations from the industry. So this one referred by the Scrum Master, the Scrum Alliance, they have done a research recently. So they quoted that these organizations are looking at these pie-shaped skills that rather than the individual or a single skills. That's where you need to focus. The other thing is the team management. So the most of the time, team management, yes, we are doing team management by sake of team management. That is not going to help out. You have to inspire and motivate the team members, and you have to work closely with the leadership team and other stakeholders to achieve a common goals. So sometimes what happens, leadership will be worried, and so they may think that we are not getting any results. So because there are so many things will get influenced. So if you have a good ability of influential skills, you can give the right justification of why we are getting delayed, and also you can motivate the team members, you can justify, and you can buy in with the leadership team. So here, emotional intelligence and empathy is ability to understand and manage others' emotions is going to play a major role. Those who can understand their emotions very well can able to justify and influence others as well in the transformation engagements. So this is the empathy and emotions, one of the core skills where industry is expecting. Moving to the business agility. So business agility is and business agility and the organization agility, it's both are interlinked. I'm not going to deep dive into these things. I just give an example, just brief about what is business agility and what is organization agility. So in with respect to the business agility, have a clear understanding of customer business. So most of the time what we do, especially, so just what is the project we are executing, what is the timelines, what is the goal, and when we are going to release it. So just we stick to the framework, project framework. That is not the expectation from the market. But you need to understand why we are executing the particular project, why we are building a particular application, what is the customer pain point, who is customer end users, why what end users are expecting from our customers. So just that you need to understand in this journey. So that's where the business agility will come into place. So when you understand customer end users expectation and why customer is building a particular application or a product, then you can justify your 100% effort, your team's effort, bringing the business agility to the organization as well as to the customer. So this is applicable both internal and external. You have to align with the your organization goals as well as customer objective and the vision. So that's all about the business agility, and you have to have this business agility acumen in your DNA. So when it comes to the organization agility, So organization agility is basically focus on creating a flexible organization structure. So there will be always multiple layers, bureaucratic nature, so where you cannot bring the organizationality. You have to break down all those things. You have to break down silos and give a proper organization structure to accelerate your delivery cycles. So you have to foster a major role in bringing the organization agility, like a scrum master should play a role, as I said. So to bring this culture, to bring this promoting this culture in the organizations. So organizations will expect from you to play a crucial role in bringing these changes. So from the scrum masters or agile practitioners. And communication and collaboration, yes, most of the times, especially when it comes to the Indians, so we hide most of the things. So that is not going to help any kind of a transformation or any kind of a project management activities. The problem with saying everything yes and we hide some things, so that is not going to help. If you say, if you open up and if you say what problem you are going to your team or you are going to facing and why you are getting delayed, and if you discuss with your customer, your counterparts, they can easily understand your pain and they can empathize with you. So that's where you have to be more transparent, more courageous. This is one of the our scrum values. So you have to exhibit these values exponentially to give a transparent to the customers. So that is one of the major expectations from the industry. And the other thing is revenue generation. So we are here not doing a charity to any of the customers or clients or the organization. So customer is paying for us, organization is paying for us, and we need to focus on the revenue generation. The as an agile practitioner, you must play a role on the revenue generation. I mean to say that you go and do the sales. That is not I mean to say that. The revenue generation is comes from the how fast you can deliver to the market, how you are meeting your timelines, how satisfied your customer is. These things can influence indirectly for the revenue generation. So these are the aspects you need to take care when you are executing any project or executing any kind of the transformations. And the final one is skill-based training. So this is basically, so now the industry is changing. So most of the time we are playing as a roles, Scrum Master, Agile Coach, Enterprise Agile Coach, Product Owner, Business Analyst. Yes, those are the roles. But what kind of skills are required to be successful in that role? So as a Agile practitioners, you need to look into those aspects and train your team members, your stakeholders, cross-functional teams in those gaining those skill sets. So that is also your duty. Yes, we are doing most of the practitioners, they do these trainings, but trainings at the role based. So now we have to shift our gaze and think about the skill based training, deep skills. We have to dig deep into these skills and make them understand why this particular skill is required to play a successful role. So that is the awareness we have to you have to we have to create in the organizations. So this is all about what is the industry expectations from the agile practitioners. These are the current trends, and one who's having this kind of skill sets, so he is the unique in the industry. So hope everyone is clear about the industry experience. If you are clear, just type in why in the chat box, and the questions we can take it at the end. Great, great, great. So moving to the next one. See, these are the current organizational challenges when you start any kind of engagement, transformation engagement, or if you start from the scratch, from the waterfall to the agile transformation. So these are the current organizational challenges. It still exists. Yes, it exists earlier. It still exists today, and also it exists in future. So this we cannot change because it's all mindset. That's the reason I used my phrase. So unless we change mindset of organization, mindset of executive leaders, mindset of the team, we cannot change these challenges. These challenges exist, but it may take a different shape. So these are the few things which I have taken. There are other things also there, but I have not captured it. Those are all infantry challenges. But these are the major challenges where we can see during the transformation of agile practice. It could be building a small team, larger teams, all scaled frameworks. So these are the challenges basically we find during the transformation engagements. The first is unrealistic expectations. So the big challenge which we notice during the any transformation is expecting immediate results for the treating agile fits for same for all organization. This is basically from the executive leadership. They'll expect results very fast, and the team needs to transform into the agile base of working, adapting the principles, and transform as fast as possible because they are investing. So, but your duty is to make sure that you have to set the clear goals and how much time it's going to take and why it's going to take time and when the transformation will be successful. So that is your role to make sure executive team understand when the transformation will be successful and how much timeline it will take. So this is the one of the major challenge we are going through that during the any kind of the transformation engagement. Then yes, the blunder mistake what we are doing is over emphasis on tools. So we are betting very big on the tools, but basic things we are forgetting. So this is one of the odds we are going to experiencing from the industry. We heavily rely on the tools, either it could be Jira, ADO, Rally, whatever agile project management tools we are using. We are emphasis more on the tools, but we ignore the basics. But your duty is to ensure that tool enhance collaboration. So it only enhance the collaboration rather than the replacing our actual practices. But ensure that it's only collaboration tool and it's only monitoring tool. So just be cautious about these kind of practices when you implement in any of the transformation engagements. As I said, how do you measure the success? So you have to have a clear definition of transformation success. So what kind of challenges, what kind of metrics, you have to define clearly KPIs and agile goals, what would be the delivery speed and the customer satisfaction, how you measure customer satisfaction, and how you understand team morale, what are the metrics you capture to understand the team morale. So regularly you have to assess these metrics based on the evolving needs of the organization. So measuring success is a complement your agile transformation success. The other big challenge is scaling agile. So people will come. We are already doing agile. Can you move directly into the adapting the or implementing the scaled agile framework? Yes, we can do that, but we need to understand what is the maturity of the agile practices in the organization. Without understanding the current maturity levels of the agile understanding of the existing team, existing leadership on the floor, any other ancillary leadership roles, we cannot directly jump into the scaled agile models. Because so if you go with the scaled agile models big bang approach, there are transformations literally failed if you go with the big bang approach. First, you need to understand the culture, where agile readiness. You have to understand, assess, identify the gaps, and you can take a stand whether we are ready to leap to the scaled agile frameworks. So this is one of the challenge so we are facing in this moment. And this is always there in any organizations, like organization silos. Yes, so silo departments and lack of collaboration between the cross functional teams, most of the time we are facing these challenges. Because if you go to the organization, big organization, enterprises, they're all comes with the bureaucratic mindset. So if I have a cross-functional team can club into the one team, what about my role? So they'll be go into the political scenarios may come up. So you have to deal. So you have to encourage collaboration. As a practitioner, you have to encourage collaboration through the regular ceremonies and create awareness. Basically, create awareness of agile benefits. What kind of practices you need to follow, conduct workshop, agile workshops, awareness workshop across the organization, multiple workshops, and take one-on-one coachings. So though by implementing all these practices, by following all these kind of activities, so you can just break the organization silos. It's not easy, but you have to start focusing on these aspects. So I think I covered all the challenges. For this, it required a holistic approach, as I said, right? So it required a holistic approach, leadership support, and all those things. Without support from the leadership team, you cannot deal with all these challenges. So these are the challenges which we face during the transformation engagements. Hope everyone is clear about these challenges. There are other challenges, mindset challenges, resistance from the team. Those comes under again organizational challenges, mindset related challenges that I have not covered. So because those are subset of these challenges. Okay, hope everyone is clear on these challenges. Moving to the next one. Next slide. So Vinay, I think we can take up questions where during the registrations you have received some questions, right? So
Yeah,
we can take up those questions and we can address them.
sure, sure. I think in slide this slide and this slide, I think most of the questions are already covered. That's a
Covered it. Yes, yes,
fantastic.
already covered it.
Yeah. But I'll take 2 to 3 questions from here from the registration link. and then
Okay.
we'll give the chance to our participants who have joined today. Okay, the first question, I think, yeah, we covered a little bit. How can an organization further embrace the principles of agility beyond the team level? Like, I think we do see, right, they are doing daily stand up and scrum ceremonies and all at the team level. So at
Mm.
the agility at the organization level, you touched a bit. So the question is on
Yeah.
the organization agility.
Yeah. See, that's what I covered in the my the current challenges. So because most of the organization enterprise they come, we are following already team level agile. How can we take it to the organization level? Yes, so there are always asked from the leadership team how we can uh, continuously adapt these practices to the basically institutionalize these practices. So where all the teams need to follow. So this time we need to understand whether we are ready or not. So we have to understand the current your score, success score in the agile practice. So once we have the clear picture about your success of following at individual teams, then you can take it to the next level where you can follow safe framework, less framework, Spotify framework. So, but it required a lot of collaboration, transparency, and the continuous improvement. And also, it required, as I said, it required alignment with the different practices. If there is an alignment with the different practices, and it can easy to scale up at the organization level.
Yeah, yeah. And then the next question also seems you have touched a bit on the
Mhm.
metrics. So, what key metrics should an organization should be tracking to measure agile success?
Yes. So most of the time, we fail in understanding agile success. So if you go to the any organization as a business advisor and consulting, so the first question people will ask how you measure success of agile success. Then you have to define before transformation, and you have to define metrics like how much basically cycle time, lead time. These are basically captured from the lean principles. So the cycle time is important, lead time is important. Anyhow, we are capturing velocity, and the most important thing is customer satisfaction, especially. So now you will go with some pilots. So then you deliver to the market. Then end users give some feedback. So if end user feedback is out of 5, there is a 4.5, customer will be satisfied. The customer satisfaction is one of the key metric. And the team morale. So because of implementing these new practices or scaled agile practices, whether team morale is reduced or increased. Because if team is not satisfied, you cannot take it up any transformation. So I say take it cycle time, lead time, velocity, and the customer satisfaction and the team morale. So these are the key important metrics to become to measure your agile transformation success. And additionally, you can also consider we touched about the business agility, right? So you can have a business outcome. So when we go with the scale agile framework, in normal framework also, there's a business value associated with before you start in a planning session. Product owner or business executive, they assign business value. So that business value we are delivering or not. So what is the business outcome for a particular feature? So those things we have to capture, and we have to showcase to the leadership team. Then so if they are happy, then we can say agile we are transforming in towards the success.
Hmm, hmm. Yeah, yeah. I think, as you rightly said, we need some baseline to establish, and then
Correct.
try to implement something and measure it, comparing to the baseline. That's
Correct.
exactly right.
Yeah,
So
and
yeah.
also this is the feedback, Vinay, and the team also. But
Hmm,
because why we have to take feedback, so you define some metrics. So yes, the metrics are working fine, but from the each and every cycle, I can say. So most of the people heard about the value stream management, right? From ideation to the till rollout. So in each phase, also you have to define subset of metrics. So then you have to take a feedback how that particular phase is working and what kind of challenges we are finding. You have to take a feedback, learn from the mistakes, and inculcate additional metrics to become a successful transformation.
hmm, hmm, hmm.
Yeah.
Got it. Got it. So, in connection to that, like, what approaches can organizations take to foster a culture of continuous improvement?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
There's a connectivity in the. I'm trying to connect the question
Correct, correct.
section. Yeah. So
Yeah.
what approaches and can organization take to foster a culture of continuous improvement?
So basically, what we are missing in most of the, because I don't want to say this, we are working as a slaves in this most of the projects and most of the
Yeah.
engagements. We
Mm.
forgot to celebrate small wins.
Right.
We
Agree.
forgot to celebrate small wins. Start celebrating small wins and encourage your team members, collaborate with other team members, and advertise, brand yourself. This is what we have implemented, this is what we got a success. Okay, then other businesses also will be more happy to adapt these practices. That's where you can foster the culture of continuous improvement in any of the organization. If you only stick to your practice, if you only stick to your business unit, if you only stick to your teams, you are not going to do the continuous improvement activities. You have to sell yourself. And if
Yeah.
you start small, you have to sell yourself what wow factor you have created to delivering a particular value to the customer. So then people will attracted to your approaches. Then you can just foster this culture in the other business units, and you can institutionalize all these practices slowly. That's where we talk about the continuous improvement at the organization level.
Right. 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 Yeah. I mean, bang on the point on celebrating the small things. Actually, if you bring that, that is a culture and mindset we need to establish. If you are a Scrum Master, if you are Agile coach, or if you are any kind of leader, there should be always, kind of a setting up a positive attitude or positive environment,
Correct.
that psychological safety into the picture. When there is, in our coaching classes, we regularly say psychological safety is everything for the team. If you have
Mhm.
that, there is a openness about the challenges, the feedback, and also celebrating all these things. I echo with you. And meanwhile, we have got one question in the chat. Thanks for talking about the organizational challenges and cross collaboration of teams. Can you help with any best practices when the trust is very low and how to bring harmony between different teams? Now I talk that psychological safety, and it is rightly echoing with the question here.
Yeah. So when you before you talk about psychological safety, the trust is important basically. I agree. See, these are we are working in two different kind of organization. One is a product based organization. Other one is a service based organization. So product, I in my experience, I worked in a product based organizations as well as service based organizations. In my experience, the product based organizations and the leadership will have a more trust on the teams because so there is an investment, there is a budget. Okay, and also so our product organizations, they know where we are heading and what is our market and when we are launching and what is our customer base. So there you can't see any kind of a psychological safety or abusing for your failure. The trust will be there. If trust is not there, then you are not going to successful as a team. That is, it will be in a chaos. People will leave. So they look for different opportunities. It's basically the leadership team has to change their mindset to how we can build the trust. That's basically with the top down approach. So we have to fix that. So we have to make sure we have to create awareness in the leadership team. So the trust is important, especially you have to trust your team members, you have to trust your team skills. So that is the one thing. Once you have trust, all these will subsidize physical psychological safety, abusing for failures, blame game. Then all those things will subsidize. When it comes to the service based organization, this is a very tough creating a trust and the psychological safety, because when you are working for the service based organization, customer is paying for you, not the organization. Customer is paying for you. If customer is not happy, then organization start blaming you. So yes, this is a very tricky to answer, but we have to convince our leadership. There are people, they convince, they understand what kind of challenges you are going to face, and they'll trust you until you deliver it. So this is kind of a tricky, and we have to deal sometimes with these things. But the only one thing my suggestion would be, you have to go to your immediate boss and or go to the leadership team and convince that have a trust in the team, and team is capable to enough to deliver. We are going with some delays due to some challenges and all those things. So that's how we can create a trust, especially changing the mindset. Not there is no other best practices here, just the mindset.
Hmm. Hmm. And to add more fuel to the question, so now that we are in most of the setup in virtual world, right? And now in the call also, we are only two video cameras switched on and others are on. The cameras are switched off. That's fine. But when coming to the teams, when we interact with the teams, you don't see their facial expressions, you don't see their body language, and which are very crucial to understand the feelings of other person, right? Especially in the virtual scenario setup, what is your recommendation, like establishing that trust and psychological safety? It's a human emotion, right? It's not that
Correct.
four values or 12 principles, you read it and mug up or something like that, right? It's a
Yeah.
feelings. You have to talk, like you need to see the gestures, you need to talk to them, you need to understand their this empathy part also, empathy term also. We
Yes.
often use this, I empathy you. Using
Emotional.
that word
Yes.
doesn't mean, right?
Correct. Basically,
Yeah.
emotional. We covered in the industry expectations, right? Basically, emotional intelligence and the empathy. So the person who is having emotional intelligence and the empathy of other problems, the same culture we have to build across the organization. Either it could be a peer level, or it could be your subordinate, or it could be your higher level. So you
Mm,
have to build that empathy culture and the emotional intelligence culture. That's where they can understand what others are going to the problem. What they can understand easily, they'll get into the other shoes and they can understand their problems. So if you are not building these practices across the organization, always there will be a psychological safety and the no trust. So that's the biggest challenge in the industry, especially trust is the biggest challenge. Not only trust, loyalty also comes picture. So because even team members also, so they are shifting gains and they're only looking at the money as a success. In my
mm,
perspective, the success brings money, the money won't bring the success.
mm,
If you're successful, automatically money will flow into your account. But if you're running behind the money, you never be a successful person, because
mm,
somewhere sometime you will be get hit,
mm,
because you are not focusing on your success, you are not focusing on your core strengths, and you are not focusing on your core pillars. So if you focus on core pillars, core strengths, and core standards, automatically money will flow. I know money is important in this industry, but that doesn't mean that we lose our ethics. That's where the most of the, if you look at, see, in the digital, during the pandemic, during the COVID time, people joined left and right for the packages and everything. The people now who are suffering, those who joined for the higher packages. Industry data clearly says those who are having higher packages where they are not justified for their role, only those people are impacting in this recession.
mm,
So
mm,
my humble request to the youngsters, my humble request to all the practitioners, build your core strength. And once you have a core strength, you can demand. But once you demand, once you have the particular package, then you have to justify that role. Or else, see, companies are not charities here. So they are paying because they see a value in you. If you are not adding that value, then you are no more valuable to the organization.
mm.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah,
So
I'll
with
take.
this other question, easy
Yeah.
way to scale agility. No, there is
And
no easy way. There is no shortcuts. There is no
yeah.
shortcuts for a success. We know everyone. So there is no easy way to scale agility. So you have to go through a process, a framework, and the principles and the best practices. But so and don't confine with what Safe is telling and what Agile Scrums Chameleons is telling, what Spotify is telling. Okay, so those are all work for the organizations, but that doesn't mean that it works for you. But you have to have a clear understanding of the organization culture, behavioral aspects, your customer business. So then only you can customize, tweak the existing framework, and you can adapt and apply.
Mm,
So yes, these are the things. There is a systematic way, so you have to follow. There is there is no shortcut. I
yeah.
think Leela Venkat has a question, raised hand.
Satish. Satish.
Okay.
Hi, Kalyan. Not a
Hi.
question, just to add on the point for the
Yes, please.
question. Easy way to scale agility. Easy way to scale agility is to understand the basics. Many times we observe that the teams themselves doesn't understand the agile basics or the concepts. We directly jump into the essential or even portfolio, large solution, or Scrum at scale, Nexus, whatnot, all the different scaling frameworks. And end of the day, we start saying that agile is not working, safe is not working,
Correct.
and safe is not helping. it's not the fault of the frameworks or anything, or it's not the fault of the agile coaches or scrum masters as well. As an organization, we need to understand whether the foundation, the base, ground level is strongly established or not. Only then we need to focus on scaling the agility.
Yeah.
That's it from my side.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Satish, adding that one. Yeah.
And more important thing is, what are the reasons for your scaling up the agility? Why you want to scale it up? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, based on my experience, I'm telling here. When I worked in one of my first company, United Technologies, I was identified as a pilot scrum master in 2013 or 2014. In within 2 years, we had a multiple teams, like close to 15 teams we had. And after having multiple teams, we have started seeing some symptoms or some challenges, like misalignment, communication challenges. Like if you're a project manager, you know about this communication channel formula, n into n minus divided by 2. Like how many layers you add it, that complex that communication becomes. The communication challenges, alignment, these are the challenges you want to solve by scaling it up agile. How we have different frameworks, like Satish was very right. If you are following safe, if you are following less, if you are following any discipline agile or anything, at the end of the day, how you are tackling your problems, or how you are working on that problems using this framework, and what are the outcome, what generally the outcome is to address these challenges, these communication gaps and the misalignment and all. At the end of the day, if it is not happening, there might be some improper implementation of the framework, but doesn't mean that framework is failed. Framework is working elsewhere very well, right? But in this case, it is failing. It might be reasons of multiple reasons, like we didn't have good approach, or skill set, or whatever. I think the more important point is why you want to scale it up, and based on that, you bring that the next steps, like Kalyan and Satish has said. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's other question from Venkata Chinnababu. So how to identify gaps, current mindset in order to scale? I
Yeah.
think Satish covered, I also covered, and Vinay is also covered. Not
Yeah.
going to take much time. Yes, so this is basically to understand why you want to scale Agile. Yes, if you have a clear, concise objective or vision, you want to scale. But first, you need to understand how successful in your the current way of Agile ways of working. Where are you successful? If you're not successful, then the scale we won't. Basically, as a practitioner, I won't recommend to go as a scale models, because you have to have a wins, pilot wins, then only you can go for the scale. So for that, you need to understand if you're working for a longer period, understand, you can understand what are the organization silos, how the collaboration is happening between cross functional, cross practices, and your leadership mindset. So those are the major things will take a decision whether we are ready to scale or not. So these are the areas where you need to look into it to before you go for scaled agile models.
Yeah. Yeah. Perfectly said. And one different question from the registered participant is, how can agile practices be adapted for non-IT departments within an organization?
Mhm, mhm. So you mean to say that this is for basically marketing, HR teams?
HR finance, yeah, yeah. So, like just to elaborate on the question for the people who are joined, say agile is the core term for the IT teams. What about the non-IT teams? How they, how they can implement the agile principles or the Scrum ceremonies, or how they need to tackle it.
Correct. So basically, see the exact whatever you are working in a delivery, especially project delivery. So those frameworks is not going to exactly help in the non-IT departments, especially marketing department. There are people, they are already implemented for procurements, marketing, HR practices, talent acquisition. So they already practices, but you need to understand what is the need implementing agile practices there. Tailor your actual agile framework specific to their needs, and start implementing those practices. That should be a flexibility in nature and adaptability. So like in HR or talent acquisition or marketing, so people use a combination of agile plus scrum plus kanban. So those techniques and frameworks you need to understand based on the specific department needs, and you have to tweak it your framework, and you start using those practices in those practices business units.
Yeah. Yeah. And to add to your input, Kalyan, especially with non-IT teams, uh, because they don't typically work on the product development, right? The any delivery is not typical product, but most of the times it is a service. Okay.
Sorry.
So in that scenario, obviously Scrum will not impact that much, but Kanban will help them. So as a
Yes.
agile consultants, agile coaches, we have to be very, do that exercise, that whiteboard exercise of value stream mapping and all, and come up with some this Kanban or Lean or XP. Depending upon the framework, should not. You see, I in one of the bank where I'm working, they straight away it's a very big bank. They have 70,000 employees. McKinsey came and they straight away implemented Scrum everywhere, left, right, and front, back. But over a period of time, especially non-IT teams, Scrum utterly failed there. For them, Kanban is the right place. So you have to observe the situation, understand the context, be pragmatic and practical in your approach, and then implement the framework. Yeah, you are rightly said non-IT teams is altogether different ballgame. Yeah. So how to become how to become agile coach? Could you please suggest roadmap?
Yeah. There is no specific roadmap. It comes with your experience, Venkat. But understanding the in-depth agile principles and frameworks, that is the one thing, and how well you are delivered your successful agile transformations, and depend on your success criteria, your experience, and what kind of different frameworks you have implemented your in a transformation journey, and kind of your coaching skills. Especially coaching skills plays a major role to become an agile coach. And as we said, right, so how you are relevant in understanding the business agility and the organization agility. So these are the few skills, if you add up on your portfolio, so this will help you to see yourself as an agile coach.
Yeah. Yeah.
There are certifications that gives become an agile coach. But yes, good to have those certifications, but by completing those certifications, I cannot claim that as an agile coach. It required a detailed deep dive understanding of the organizational challenges, customer challenges, solving those problems, successfully transforming agile transformation engagements, and implementing different frameworks, and the team influencing team and the leadership. So those core aspects will make you become an agile coach.
Yeah. Okay. And one more question is, especially with the upskilling of traditional project managers. So how they can embrace the agile principles, especially who are basically from the traditional or waterfall way of working.
So yes, there are still traditional in my company itself. There are traditional project managers are exist, because there are clients, they are not following agile, especially support projects or some migration projects, but they want to come out of those kind of projects. They want to embrace new journey, new role, as a scrum master or an agile coach. So especially this is required a commitment to adapting a new role. So just start following the industry webinars, industry standards, and also acquire some certifications. And the other thing is mind shift. So if you start clubbing both project manager and the agile principles and practices, so you will go nowhere. So just have a mind shift. Then you can start adapting these new roles and new skills, attending trainings, and get some certifications. And if you have a chance, and if you have a possibility, so just have a shadow in one of the any of the agile engagements or agile projects. So be shadow for 3 months and understand how these agile project management been carried out in one or two projects, how the transformation engagements are rolling up. So if you're part of shadowed in these engagements, and you'll get the basic understanding of all these agile principles, practice, and the frameworks. Then on top of that, you build your skills and certifications. So then you are ready to change for the new role.
Yeah. 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 Uma, please go ahead, Uma.
Uh, I have a question similar to what you have asked previously. Uh, so the question is like we are into waterfall model and we wanted to change it to agile now. But the project is based in two locations and it is being controlled by Hersley team and entire development happens there itself. So in these cases, how can we adopt the means how to start influencing the people to start to move to agile?
Uma, nice question. But what is the need of adapting agile first? First, you need to understand that whether agile makes any difference in the current ongoing delivery cycle, or by sake of everyone is doing agile and I have to implement agile, or is that is the more bothering you? So because we need to understand basically whether my nature of the project shoot for agile way of working, agile way of delivery. If that is not there, then I suggest don't go for an agile way of working. You just stick to the waterfall. First, understand the need. So yes, if you identify a need, yes, there is a scope for agile adoption of agile way of working, and start talking to your leadership teams, talking to the customer, and make them understand why you need to agile adapt, what are the benefits you will get, and how you can wow your end customer. Just create awareness within your team and within in your customer and the leadership team. Create some awareness session. If agile is not suitable for your project, I won't suggest, just stick with the waterfall.
Okay, but how can we decide whether it suits or whether we can move to agile from waterfall model? Like what? How can we negotiate between these things?
No,
Like, for people
negotiation.
move from water. Hmm?
Yeah, negotiation is different and identification is different. So once you identify, you can negotiate. So identify the need of transforming into the agile. So what is your nature of the business? Like it's in a custom evolving very fast. So repetitive, there is a repetitive changes, or kind of you are competing with the your competitors. So then your project or your product is a candidate for the agile transformation. So if there is no major changes, there is no impact much on the market, there's a regular stuff, support kind of activities, then it's not required. It can go as it is. So first you have
Okay.
to identify. First you have to identify differentiation. Once you identify differentiation, yes, there is a competition. Yes, there is a value in the market. Yes, I have to release as fast as my competitor. And there is a changes. Continuous changes are coming where there is a lot of stress on the team. There is no prioritization is happening. Then you can embrace the agile practices and you can convince your customer, whoever it is, decision makers. You can convince your decision makers and you can start influencing them by adapting these agile principles and practices.
Okay. Thanks for the insights.
Yeah. And one more important thing is you need to identify the current challenges in whatever way of working. If you identify the challenges and have an agreement with the team and leader, then you suggest with this for implementing Agile or Scrum, we would like to tackle these challenges. That's where people will start thinking about Agile. We cannot simply say, okay, now we wanted to do Agile, everybody is doing Agile. That's not the mantra. The mantra is only the mantra is find out the burning points or challenges and tell them that you using implementing the Scrum or no, the other frameworks, we want to improve. Then people start thinking about it, and also as soon as they identify, as Kalyan was rightly saying, identification is different, negotiation is different, right? Now that identification is done, negotiation is on training. Obviously, like now you identified some challenges like pain points and you want to improve those improve on those challenges. You'll say, you suggest we'll implement some Scrum. Then now all of a sudden people don't have that capability or maturity, right? You need to spend some time on training. Okay, the commitment, buy-in from them. It's not that one man or woman game there. It's a team game. Okay, you have a lot of stakeholders again, leaders. You have to get the buy-in from leaders. You have to get buy-in from teams, and this, as I said, training, workshops. It's a step by step process. Okay, we should not go for big bang approach. Most of the organizations, they fail because of this big bang approach. In one of our agile principle, agile value says that iterative and incremental delivery, right? Here for implementing also, you have to be very iterative and incremental. It's not that big bang approach, boom. Okay, that's my 2 cents on that.
Okay. Yeah,
Well,
thank you.
yes. Yeah. Anyone have any question? You can unmute yourself. We can take one more question, and then we can close the no, session. Meanwhile, for our join today, I think we have the spot registration for our Agile conference, which is going to happen in T Hub. We have very limited seats. Please do scan this QR code and use that network AC23 for the spot registration. You'll get 10% discount, and we have wonderful speakers lined up. Ashutosh is doing a workshop on customer-centric agility, and we have Sairam and Al Chalavi. We have wonderful line of speakers setting up. Please do join, and I'll show the promo video also. But before that, we want to take one more question from the participants. If you have anything, please unmute and ask the question. No, we are good.
Yeah, seems no questions.
Super. I think we have taken, I think, more than 10 questions. That's a first win, I would say. We need to celebrate definitely here.
Yes, small
Yeah.
wins we have to celebrate.
Yes, yes. And as a part of this webinar, screen sharing is okay. Give me a second. Yeah, so for those who have registered with PMA ID, you will be getting one PDU auto-credited, which will be done in next few days or maximum in 1 week. I'll get back to you. So we will see the 1 minute trailer of this Agile conference. Let me know if you are hearing sound. You can hear the sound, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's it about today's session. I'll share that code and link in the chat so that you can utilize it. Give me a second. Okay. So this is the code, and give me a second. I'll be giving the link as well. So this code will be expiring today. Usually utilize before end of the today. And yeah, I would like to especially thank Kalyan for taking out time and covering that challenges upfront so that it set up the tone clearly. We are just not here to have a one-way conversation. And then quite a good amount of questions from the in the Google form and from the people who have joined. I think the expectation or the outcome of the session is achieved. I think kudos to everyone. We have discussed in great detail about the challenges, which is very important, and we will continue this for the upcoming week. Next 2 weeks, we'll be having. I think our next speaker is right in the call. Satish is there. He'll be talking next week on Saturday. And yeah, thank you once again on joining on Sunday morning. and on to that too on a big day, as Kalyan said. I'm seeing
So,
India, Rohit is catching that trophy. All the best to Indian team. And once again, thank you very much. Have a good rest of the day and enjoy your World Cup match.
yeah,
Thank you. Thanks again.
Thanks, everyone.
yeah. I'm also so excited. So because my sons play for under 16 state team, Andhra state team.
Wow.
He's quite excited and he's waiting for me outside to start celebrations. He bought a huge crackers, all shots. So he goes for MSK Prasad Academy in
Super.
Hyderabad. He plays
Super.
for Kurnool. He plays for Kurnool district.
Super. Super.
His main
Fantastic.
stream is that he's passionate about cricket. He plays for that. He bunks schools many times, so I'm okay with that.
Let him bunk a few more times because we
Correct.
need somebody to play for country, right?
Yes,
I'm
yes.
a very hardcore fan of your cricket. Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you all. All the best. Let's connect again.
Thank you all. Thank you once again, Kalyan from PMA Pearl City. Thank you very
Yeah.
much. Have a good day, all. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you.